Hello. Uh, well, this is awkward. So, I've decided to go back and look at one of my old videos, and I haven't watched this yet, but I'm gonna react to my own video. Let's say. Um, wow, I have a lot of crap going on my screen, don't I? Let's just get rid of some stuff. Cool. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to react to myself from 10 years ago. First of all, what the fuck does this guy go outside ever? Look, what's going on here? What kind of a haircut is this? I mean, I'm not looking too great right now, but safe to say, I've glowed up a little bit since then. Holy shit. All right, let's see what past me has to say about reading an INTJ man.
Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. So I actually just
I'm seeing dermatitis, uh, lack of sleep. Uh, anyway,
rewatched one of my old videos called Reading an INTJ Man,
what a coincidence. We're doing it again.
where my advice is that you don't. Um, I don't know what the fuck happened to me in this video.
So, my advice to reading an INTJ man is to not read them. That seems very. I would say that's very discouraging. I mean, what else is a person supposed to do? You know, this is what humans do: is they try to read each other. So of course you can't even stop yourself from trying to read someone. Um, so actually, I think this advice already fails. I'm not. I'm going to think about it while this man's talking. But let's see.
Um, just I don't know, but I wanted to redo the video because my last one was kind of not coherent for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then the last minute I actually said what I need to say. So hopefully,
Should probably edit out coughing. It's very disturbing. So I've already thought about this. Basically, the advice to not read someone is stupid, and
those
wow, I'm a hypocrite. I am a big hypocrite. Okay. I could spiral about the fact that I just criticized my past self for coughing in a video, and now I'm going to publish this video and it's going to have coughing in it, but I'm not. I'm not going to spiral, and I'm also going to try my best not to cough again. But in terms of reading someone, I mean, everyone has very similar facial expressions, I would say. Humans, I think, express their facial expressions and feelings and emotions in pretty predictable ways, I think. I think beyond, like, being an expert CIA negotiator who can read body language like a pro, I think we all have an innate, an intuitive ability to read the facial expressions of people. And the best way to do that is not necessarily to intellectualize their facial expressions, but to literally just look at their face. Maybe not just don't stare, but like be present with their face and notice what's happening with their face. And then rely on your intuitive understanding of what certain expressions might mean. And you could be wrong. You probably will be wrong. But people are receptive to you when you notice a facial expression and maybe you're not so clear on what it is, and then you ask them like, what what was that? Or did you just think about something? Or uh, you know, you're showing that you're actually paying attention to that person. And people like attention being paid to them. I don't think there's anyone on earth where they're talking to you and they're making expressions and they don't want you to notice. Find me one person, unless that person is lying. And in which case, it's going to be pretty obvious because they're not going to want to explain those expressions. They don't want you to notice that. That's when you know someone's lying. But I'm not an expert in body language or anything like that. We're 45 seconds into this video. Let's see what this young man would like to say.
Those people on the internet will see this and notice that it's only a couple minutes long and think it's better. How do you read an INTJ man? Okay, it's really simple. You just can't. You can't do it. Something about our personality type. And yes, I'm speaking for the collective here, but you can't do it. Unless we're making very obvious facial expressions, which we don't often do. Laughing is a pretty good indication that we found something funny and we're like temporary.
I think what this is highlighting is my own lack of experience in reading others. So my past self making this video wasn't good at reading people, and so his understanding of whether or not you can read someone is that you just can't do it, particularly for this personality type, which has a stereotype of having less emotive faces. Me personally, my personal experience is that some people do find me difficult to read, and that's because sometimes when I'm experiencing emotions, rather than letting those emotions out and expressing them, they're in a state of suspension inside me. And it's only when the emotions are overwhelming that they bubble up to the surface. So if the thing I'm feeling is kind of mild, then there is a chance that I can completely hide it from you. And to that, I mean, if you want someone to not hide that feeling from you, I think the best chance you have is to be a person that is almost kind of like a therapist, where you're actually doing this labor of creating the space for that person to express their emotions free from judgment, and have them build up this perception of you being a safe space, a safe person with which they can share their feelings without having to worry about, is it going to change your perception of them? Are you going to punish them in some way? And punishment can take many forms. A lot of the times you can think you're not punishing someone, but you are. For example, just getting upset at someone is kind of like a punishment. You have to think about it from the other person's perspective. They feel punished by their own action. They're experiencing a consequence of expressing their emotions, of their feelings. And so all this does is it conditions that person not to do that. They don't want to experience a negative thing, then they're going to avoid it. Like, literally, their neurons are tracing back each action that they took leading up to that point and creating a strategy of avoidance. I'm not a psychologist, but maybe this is the difference between someone that's, has a different attachment style. Say they're an avoidant versus an anxious versus a secure. Maybe that's really what I'm talking about. I can't really generalize that to everyone. Maybe it's only avoidant types that that sort of have this thing going on. Anyhow, let's continue.
Temporarily happy. Crying usually means we are sad. Frowning does not necessarily mean anger. We ones if and
I might just speed this up because it's kind of boring, actually.
we've just punched someone in the face. Then you can be pretty certain that we're angry. Apart from that, good luck. They're
So you can see the lack of sophistication where this young man only knows like the very obvious expressions. So in this case, you can't just say to everyone, you can't do it because I can't do it. So anyway, continue.
I mean, I don't even understand my own emotions most of the time, so it's going to be pretty difficult for you to understand them.
Still true.
And a lot of times, my non-verbal cues, non-existent. They're not there. So what you would normally expect from someone, you do not see from us.
Sort of
On
true.
top of that, we don't have much of a variance in our tone of voice. Me talking in these videos is actually me putting on extra variance in my tone. When I'm speaking
Yes.
in real life, I don't talk like this.
Yes.
It's just my pathetic attempt at trying to keep people's attention for longer by speaking in a way that a wider audience will enjoy or be entertained by.
Yeah, and for some reason it's completely unavoidable. Like even me recording this, I'm speaking with more energy than I would normally speak to someone. It's tiring, actually. It is a little tiring, but I don't know, not that much.
So it takes effort to speak like this for me. Normally, it's more monotone, which some people might not even be able to imagine. So I think you get the point. You can't really do it. The best way to get information out of us is literally to ask us. Even better than asking us in person is writing us a message, sending us an email or something like that, because it gives us the time and the space to think about our response, and so we can respond to you properly. Whereas
I find this is actually not that true these days with social media and whatnot. I find myself actually just not responding to stuff. So it's actually, I feel like now the pendulum has swung so far to like everyone's now talking via text that you have to get in front of someone in order to get a response out of them. Even if they just kind of break down and don't respond to you, that's still a response. Like it shows you where they're at in terms of how they feel. But yeah, it's probably more effective to literally show up at my house and be like, "Hey, let me in." Then or I guess calling, or I don't know, being incessant is more effective than texting and waiting for me to respond, because sometimes I just can't be fucking bothered.
asking an INTJ in person, there is one thing you have to think, just be aware of. If it's something that's emotional, or if it's something that, even if it's not emotional, if an INTJ feels a certain way because of what you asked, they might be less likely to answer the question, or they may answer it in a way that is not satisfying to you. So
Faster!
that's what I have to say on that. This is a much more coherent, clear, and concise version of how to read an INTJ man. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.
I would say that wasn't very coherent and concise and clear, and I would say this is more to do with the person being avoidant than INTJ personality type. You can imagine a secure INTJ personality type would be able to manage their own emotions and respond to you. I don't think your cognitive functions dictate your level of emotional maturity or emotional awareness. And so yeah, I think this has nothing to do with INTJs. I actually think it has everything to do with your attachment style. Very interesting. Cool, 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 cool. Well, that was not nearly as embarrassing as I thought. I have so many that I could look at, and I'm so not going to, unless people really, really want me to. I'd rather make new stuff. Actually, what I plan to do with the channel is post some AI generated music that I've been crafting recently. But we'll see how that goes, I guess. Anyway, bye.